This is Mitch, and welcome to the 1000houses.com podcast. I'm here today with Bob Lachance, and he specializes in help finding you the exact correct VA help that you need. He's a pro, probably wouldn't be safe. So this is all really important stuff. If you haven't dealt in the world of VAs, or you're just barely starting, stuff is dead on. It's what's going to kill you. I think the interaction and to make up your mind that you're going to keep these people, whether it be part-time or full-time, but I really don't see hardly any reason for anyone to have a part-time VA, because there's so much to be done.
A lot.
There's so much to be done. If you have them part-time, now they got to divide their time between you and someone else. Mm-hmm. And then that could get competitive in dollars or cents, or they may decide they want to go full-time and now your part-time guy's gone. I mean, to me, it's either full-time or nothing.
Yeah. And I would definitely check out, just like you said, check out the 100 plus tasks to have done for you by a virtual assistant. I think that's important. We could go over how I use VAs in my business. I have 6 cold callers. I have 3 text messengers. I have 2 lead managers, and I have 2 data scrapers and also a transaction coordinator helping our main TC here in the office. So that's just a little high level what I do, because on the cold calling side, I don't know if you've ever, I think you've cold called before. Cold calling beats you up. When I first started, I was hammering the phones. I was door knocking first. Then I was literally going home from door knocking, skip tracing, finding the phone number and hammering the phones. And I'll tell you what, once you do that, you want to quit.
No, so that's what happened this year. My acquisition managers all were celebrating their 4th, 5th, and 6th anniversary.
Yeah.
And you could see the toll the cold calling was taking on them. They used to call 200 a week. Then now they're down to like 80 a week apiece. And they're not really looking forward to that 80 either.
Correct.
So we sat them down at the beginning of the year and said, look, we saw their income levels come in. My acquisition managers made between 150 and 250. The upper end was closer to 250 and the lower end was close to 150. But he only worked 3 quarters, you know what I mean? Because he had COVID for an extended period of time. So once we saw, they were making good money, we called them in the room and said, okay, this year, y'all all have to have a full-time VA because you're burning out, man. Your calls are down. You can't be wanting to make another 200 calls a week for this next year again. You just can't be wanting to do that. Yep. And they all agreed they didn't want to, but all of them but one says, well, I really don't want to spend the money on a VA. It's $2,000 or whatever dollars a month. And I said, look, let's do it for a quarter. I'm going to make you do it for a quarter. You have to pay for it. Yep. And if you're not happy at the end of the quarter, we'll put everyone's results on the table. Yep. Yours and the other 2 guys. If y'all aren't happy, we won't do it. But you're going to be happy because you're going to save $6,000 in a quarter. But if you just buy 1 extra property, you're going to make an extra 10. And it's probably going to be a lot more lopsided than that. And it was. Mm-hmm. In the first month of getting the new VAs, while we were training them, they brought in 6 extra deals, which was 2 extra deals per person.
Yeah.
Which was about $20,000 a piece extra for each person. In the first month,
it works.
They're not even trained yet. They weren't even really honed into what we wanted from them. They weren't dumb. They weren't starting green. They had done this business before, but they hadn't learned exactly how we wanted it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's funny on that side of it, Mitch? And a lot of people ask, why do you do real estate if you have 800 plus virtual assistants? Are you, successful enough in that one business? I've always been the type of person where if I have a business and a service business, I better be, it's kind of like you doing this podcast. You better be an investor to do a podcast, because if you're not actually buying houses, then what are you? I look at it where I have a service business. I better be using that business. There's too many people out here that are such full of, that are going on podcasts or have a service business and they don't use their product or service in their business. I don't like that.
Okay. Hey, I have the perfect example, and it's over in Jack Bosch's book called Forever Cash. And I got this from Jack Bosch, so I'll give credit where credit's due, but he kind of changed the way, I knew this stuff, but every now and then someone says something, it puts it in a perfect perspective. There's the one-time cash, which is fix and flips, or you sell cars and you sold a car, or you place VAs and you place a VA. There's the one-time cash. You get it, you get paid. Then there's temporary cash, which is more like what you do.
Mhm.
You place the VA, there's a setup charge, but then you make a little bit off of them for however long they are. But sooner or later, this relationship ends. It stops. So it's temporary, right?
Yeah.
And then, so you got to take the money that you're making from the one-time cash events or the services and the temporary cash events or services, and you have to buy into a forever strategy, which is apartment buildings or rental houses or strip centers or something that you rent, or quite possibly, maybe, and I'm not big enough to talk on this because I've never done it, but a business that you actually own and there's a CEO under you.
Right.
You're on the cruise boat checking in with your CEO maybe twice a week.
Yeah. And another good book there, along with Jack's, is Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. We're going to put these book titles over there at 1000houses.com/VA help.
And
so
that's,
remember these. Just like real estate agents. To me, if I was a real estate agent, my whole year would be measured on how many houses I bought by the end of the year, not how many I sold.
right.
I would sell to stay afloat, pay my bills, stay in the game, and get privy to the information that I need to steal bargain properties.
Yep.
For lack of a better word, legally, morally pick up great deals. So I've never understood that. Just like you said, I talked to realtors like, so, how long you been a realtor or a broker? 20 years. So you have a pretty big rental portfolio or you buy a lot of properties? No, I won't touch this stuff. I'm like, are you crazy?
And they have opportunities too. The thing is, as an agent, you have an opportunity to get motivated sellers, especially on the landlord side, that you can buy income producing properties. They get those all the time too, but they look at a lot of agents, I'm not saying everybody, a lot of agents just look at that one-time hit on, hey, what can I buy with that commission of, $5, $6, $7, $10,000. And then, but they don't look at what I can do with that money to keep that money flowing in.
Well, the part of the problem that an entrepreneur has, and I don't have many original quotes, but one of the quotes that I've been repeated on is the hardest thing an entrepreneur will ever do is have one great idea and finish big, because they see opportunity in so many things. They start fragmenting themselves, and then they're no good at any of it. You know what I mean? And it's all kind of just hobbling along. But at the same time, I also believe in multiple streams of income. So you have to be careful where you pick your additional stream. My stream is always something that's broke off of what I've done already. Yep. Like the exhaust from my house flipping business is what started my note servicing business.
Right.
The exhaust from my raising private money business, where I had to raise private money to buy these houses from my house flipping or my house investing business, was what caused me to open up a hard money lending business, because I had so much money, or people offered me so much money, I couldn't get it out. And if I didn't get it out, they were going to leave and go do something else. So I had to fragment, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But every time I fragmented, I learned to do something that was very important.
Yeah.
I picked a partner that was way better in that business than I would ever be. And they took the helm and showed up every day. I just kept feeding them. In this case, in the hard money business, I provided the money for the short-term loans to the house flippers, where they were in and out. And I could tie the money up for 6 months. And then if I needed it, I could not put it back out again, and I could use it myself. But if I didn't need it, I could roll it to the next flipper or extend their loan. But that's how I occupied $26 million as I took little bitty bites out of it myself and eventually consumed it all.
Well, same thing with, so that's the same exact story as I have. A real estate investor first, got into coaching program, got into the VA business, but they all go, right? It's kind of like the grocery store model, right? You got all of the stuff in the middle, and then you got a bakery, and then you got the produce. Everything kind of works together to make a meal.
I don't know why this is important to you. Maybe there's some logic to it. I mean, usefulness to it. But I noticed they always put the milk in the far backhand corner, so you have to walk through the entire store to get the basic.
But it's margins though, right? It's a margin business. My buddy owns 2 supermarkets, and he told me the different margins. They put all the stuff that's in the middle that really doesn't make money, and they kind of walk you like a herd of cattle around the exterior of it, which gives you 30% plus margin on certain things.
Yeah, hoping on the way back when you shortcut through one of the aisles, you'll do an impulse buy and pick up some of that other stuff. So what's the top few mistakes people make when they want to hire a VA?
They come in not knowing what tasks to outsource. So for instance, if you know you need lead generation, lead generation, you could be a fish out of water if you say, well, lead generation, there's cold calling, there's texting, direct mail, there's, PPC, all this kind of stuff. If you don't pinpoint what you're looking for, like a cold caller, just like we were talking about, just be very clear on what you want your virtual assistant to do. And that is very, very important. A lot of people come in and say, I know I need help. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a fish out of water, right? But they don't actually know what they want their virtual assistant to do. It's the same thing to hire an employee, right? Same exact thing.
Right. So you needed to have a deep, intricate, specific job description, right?
But we'll help you with that too. So that's what we do as a company. We'll help you with, if you say, hey, I need cold calling, and we'll ask another question. Okay, where are you getting your list from? Where are you skip tracing those lists from? Do you have a dialer? So these are the questions that we'll ask, and we'll peel back the onion for you. If you've never done cold calling, we'll help you along with those. And we also have a client service manager that oversees the virtual assistant and your relationship as well. So we could help you with all of that.
Again, go to 1000houses.com/VA help. If you're even thinking about obtaining a VA to lighten the load, and especially I want you part-time real estate investors or part-time entrepreneurs to listen carefully. If you're part-time and you're trying to get a business off the ground, or you're a part-time investor, you cannot not have a VA. That's the first move you make, is you get help. It's the first move you make. So at least something can be getting done during those 8 hours you're at your job. The object is to get out of your job, right? But you got to use the whole 24 hours. Something's got to be happening while you're at your job, or you're going to postpone your time at that job for another year or two. You can cut your stay down drastically, but you got to have help. I tell all of my new investors, the minute you get a couple of hits, it's time to roll back some of that money into a VA and lighten your load. And start getting things done while you're still at your job.
Yeah, you need leads, right? I mean, the best thing to do as an entrepreneur that's either working part-time, even full-time real estate investors, we all need leads, right? So if you're working all day long, think about this, Mitch. If you're working all day long and then you have to come home and then cold call and try to drum up those leads to be able to call back, you will be worn out. You will be beat up, and you won't have motivation to do this business.
Well, yeah, that's even after what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you just need help to shorten the time
100%.
that you need a job. Because the most important thing in my humble opinion, Bob, is that you get out of your job. So the first goal you should have is whatever your job's paying you is to get that much a month coming in from a different source.
Bingo.
And then once you have it coming in passively, like more or less mailbox money, I don't believe in the word passive hardly at all, but let's just say cash flow. You got a steady cash flow. It's never passive, but as passive as it can be.
Passive phone calls.
Yeah, passive phone calls. Once you have met, your cash flow comes up and meets what your job's paying you, and this is why it's so important, then you can quit your job and you have just freed up 2,600 hours to devote to yourself and to find out who you are, what you're good at, and what you're supposed to do in this life. 2,600 hours a year. Huh? So your first goal, in my humble opinion, make enough to pay a VA, then make enough for you and your VA to replace, if you don't have a big job and you have a tiny little job with a tiny little salary, that may be your luckiest day of the moment in this conversation, because someone who only is making 35 or 40,000 a year, they got a lot easier chance to get free and hit that and free up that 2,600 hours than a guy that's making 250 with the insurance and the car and the phone.
The golden handcuffs, right? The golden handcuffs.
Yes. Yep. For once in your life, if you don't make very much money, listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You are the prime candidate to get this done. Because you don't make much money, you will get free much faster if you'll just use your head with what time you have while you have a job.
So Mitch, I have a perfect example for you. So we use like I said, we use our virtual assistants for lead gen, whether it's cold calling, text messaging, et cetera, right? So all those leads go into my sales floor, just like your acquisition guys. We had a guy that was making $15,000 for the last 2 years. We pulled him. He was an agent with Keller Williams, or I don't know what company it was. I think it was KW, but he made 15 grand a year for the last couple of years. He came in, he made $30,000 in 1 month. 1 month. I mean, this business works, right? And again, this is tying the lead generation from a VA that he did not do, and he made $30,000 in a month.
And he was using the VA in his same business, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Just trying to help him get what, more listings? What?
So we pulled him over as an agent. He was a struggling agent, and we taught him both. We would give him leads for listings and for wholesaling and wholetailing, because that was our exit strategies. So,
Okay.
and he made them on both wholesaling and wholetailing. That was pretty good. Struggling agent pulled over to the investment world.
Yeah, made what he was used to making a year at that industry in a month.
Doubled it. Yep.
Doubled it.
Yep.
I
The
hear that-
industry works. The industry
it works.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't be on this call if it didn't work. Like people
Right.
sometimes call me and say, Mitch, does owner financing really work? I said, well, I mean, yeah, it works. It works for people all over the damn United States. I mean, it works everywhere. The question is, can you figure out how to make it work for you? And to do that, we just need some counseling or coaching. You know, you just need to be with someone that's been there. That
Yep.
still doesn't mean you're going to do it, because I don't know you. Maybe you don't get your ass up off the sofa. I don't know.
You
But
ain't gonna make money if you don't. You're not gonna.
but the strategy works. I can show you millions and millions of reasons, you know, and evidence. But so if we go to wrap it up here, maybe towards the end, but I don't want to leave anything out. Is there anything we haven't said or talked about, or you want the audience to know maybe before we wrap it up?
Just one of the things. I mean, it takes action. You know, a lot of our clients come to us, our customers come to us, and they want either, you know, more time. They want their time freedom. They want to become, you know, more efficient in their business, or they want to scale. So those are typically the three things that people look at when they're looking at a virtual assistant. And if you have any questions, like you have on the landing page over there, 1000houses.com//VA help. There's a strategy session button on there as well, Mitch, that you put on there to talk to our team. So if you have any questions at all, just set up a strategy session. We'll answer any questions you have. We'll help with, you know, if you're trying to figure out where you're at in your business, we will help with, you know, determine tasks that the VA can do for you and your business. So I think that's important.
And here's the common thought process of a person that's pushing outside their limits and has never had an employee or had help. They look at it like it's an expense.
Mhm.
That this is going to be, you know, $2,000, $2,400, whatever it is a month that I don't make. That's completely wrong. That means you don't have the right help, or you don't have the right strategy that you're trying to use, or you don't have the right pitch deck, or you don't have, something's broken. Because if your business that you're trying to improve, if you get it set up at all correctly, then the VA is just going to up the amount of dollars that comes in, and they'll actually make enough money to pay themselves, and there'll be money to be left over for you, sometimes in hordes, you know. I mean, how much did that VA cost that 1 month for that guy who made $30,000 in a month? I mean, what was he paying? Does it really matter what they paid him?
It doesn't matter.
Does it matter if they paid him $12 or $14 or $13 an hour? Does it even matter at that point?
It's going to be a lot less than the commission you're paying your acquisition person if you have acquisition people in your office. So let's put it that way.
Yes. So same. I'm gonna correlate this when people think about coaching. Well, that's gonna cost me 25 grand. No, if you got the right coach, they teach you how to make 25 grand extra a month.
Yep.
You know,
one deal
or whatever, you know. Same
yeah.
thing with the VA. It costs so much a month. No, so you just monitor, and that, you know, if it costs $3,000 a month for something and it brings in 10,000 gross profit a month, then you're just making an extra 7. So I mean, this guy has no expense. He's paying for himself.
Right.
You can look at it like you're writing the check, but the guy should be paying for himself.
Yep. Great way to look at it. I 100%
It's
agree.
not like an office clerk, or I mean a receptionist. Receptionist just dead weight. Hi, how you doing? Go sit over there. He wants to see you now. She didn't generate any money.
Right.
VAs generate money.
They do 100%.
Absolutely generate money.
Yep.
You need to get there quickly. And sometimes you got to take a month or so. Like, if you don't make a profit off your VA the first month, I mean, don't just say, are we making progress? You know, is he getting it down? Is he doing? But I haven't had a VA. Now, I've had it. That was back when I was hiring my own. I did have one, but that was my fault. I hired the wrong person. But I have not had VAs as a whole that didn't make money the first month. But like Bob said, you got to have it. You got to decide what they want to do. We got to pick this person for the task that you need them to do, and give them a fighting chance to pull their weight. If you just throw a VA and said, hey, help me make money, I don't know what to tell you, he don't know what to do.
Yep, exactly. You nailed it. Nailed it.
All right, my friends, go to 1000houses.com/VA. Get your list, 100 things a VA can do for you. Let them get your wheels cranking. I'm going to probably say this is probably geared really just towards real estate investors. No, or is it just wide open?
It's wide. It's investors, agents, it's real estate professionals. But we have a lot of property managers clients too. We have Airbnb, in every niche. When I say investor, I mean niche from, seller financing, owner financing, however you guys want to say it. So it's all the gamut and all that.
So I just wanted to say, this is just 100 things from a real estate perspective. Okay. From a real
Correct.
estate agent, broker, investor, whatever perspective. So there could probably be 500 ways if we open this up to all the different businesses, but I don't care what business you're in. If you're an entrepreneur and you're overwhelmed, call and talk and get that free consult. You may not even know what you want them to do right now. Let them help you figure out how you can help yourself by hiring a VA and increase your income.
Correct.
All right, my friend, I'd like to thank you. We met at a mastermind, and I'm talking to you personally now, Bob. I thought you were a great guy. I really appreciate the short conversations we had. There was a lot to do there, but I really did connect with you. I think you're a great guy. If you ever get down to San Antonio, you have to look me up.
I definitely will.
All right.
Definitely will. I say you send me a nice layout of your ranch, and it's beautiful. So I'd love to come down.
If you just want to make up a reason to come down for that, that's fine with me. I'm good. You won't have to pay for a hotel or nothing. I got a few rooms down there.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Mitch. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. This is Mitch with 1000houses.com. I would like to thank livecom.com, LIVECOMM.com, for sponsoring this episode. It's all about lead generation. Imagine if every time someone called one of your signs that had a Livecom smartphone number on it, that you captured their cell phone. How many leads would that help generate for your business? We can show you how to use it. We can show you how to get creative and get people that would never have called you before to call in and expose that they are interested in your service or your product. And it's very phenomenal. I use it in my own business on all different levels. How to find coaching students, how to find properties, how to sell properties. You wouldn't believe what it does for me. My properties right now, because of Livecom, in a little tactic, I am 4 days on the market and I use no signs, not even one sign in my front yard. And it's almost all free. It's chump change pennies, chump change. You wouldn't even, if someone asked you, you're going to have to throw down this on the ground and walk away, you might not even shed a tear. So check it out. And livecom.com, LIVECOMM.com. Thank you very much. And we're out of here.